Hello everyone, I'm Shweta Yagnik. I'm your instructor for this video session of Python programming. Today I'll be discussing about conditionals and control structure. Let's begin with the agenda. So we are going to study conditional statements branching using if else, if else. Then we are moving towards indentation used in Python, control structures, that is iteration using for loop and while loop. Then we are going to look into the control statements like break, continue and pass. So let's begin with our first agenda, that is branching. So first of all, what is branching? Conditional statement has three parts. It is as the picture shows. The test expression, if it evaluates into true, then true block will be executed, and if the test expression is evaluated into false, then the false block will get executed. And after the test condition is over, the code following the block will get executed. So we are having these many variations of if, that is first if statement, if else statement, if else statement and nested if statement. So we are going to explore one by one. Before going with the examples of if statement, we will see the indentation used in Python. The indentation is used in Python for creating a block. As in case of C and C++, we used to have curly brackets in order to form a block. But in Python, we use indentation. The use of indentation makes the program more readable, and all consecutive lines of code with the same indentation form a block. So let's begin with the examples of if. We are going to write the program into Notepad++. So let's write one example where x is equal to 10, and if we want to check if x is greater than 5, we are going to write here colon, then indentation with one tab, and print x is greater than 5. This is the statement that we want to print if the condition is evaluated into true. Okay, and print, we are going to indicate if ends. So this is out of if statement. So let's execute the program. The name of the file is example.py. So Python example.py. Okay, I have written the command wrong. python Python example.py. So here it is executing x is greater than 5 and then if ends, right? So if I want to make a little bit change so that it will evaluate into false, right? So x is greater than 11. Let's see how it is going to give me the output. So again execute the same code, and it will not print x is greater than 5 or something like that because the condition is false. That's why directly the statement which is out of the if statement will get executed, that is if ends, right? Only this statement will get executed, not this. Fine. So let us take one more example. If and else. So let us take x and y both, and here we are going to use multiple assignment statement, that is x will be given value 10 and y will be given value 20. If x is greater than y, then we are going to write x is greater than y. Okay, and in end part, else part, we are going to print again a block, print y is greater, right? And again ends. So same example, y is greater, because here y is assigned more value, that is 20. Okay, so next example we are going to explore is if, elif and else. Okay, so for that we are having three variables x, y and z. three different values are assigned into it, and we are going to evaluate what is the greatest value amongst all these three variables, that is x, y and z. Okay, so x is greater than y and x is greater than z, then we can conclude that x is greatest. Okay, the another condition is, we can specify another condition using elif, right? So here we are going to write elif y is greater than z and y is greater than x both, again colon, then we are going to print y is greatest, else we are going to print z is greatest. Okay, so here using elif we can incorporate another condition, okay, and we can have multiple elif and at the last else. Let us execute the code and get the output. So z is greatest. Let us change little bit values and make y as greatest value. So here I have made y is equal to 40 and let's execute it. So y is greatest. Fine. So these are the examples of if else, if elif else, right? Let's get back here. So we have seen this if and else, if elif else, and the last example is nested if statement. If you are having one condition and within that another condition, then we can use the nested if condition, right? So if we want to check multiple conditions, we can use nested if. So here we want to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3 both, or the other output that we want is it is divisible by 2 but not divisible by 3. Another output that we want to conclude, it is not divisible by 2, that means it will go into else part, but it is divisible by 3, right? So that it will go here, and this is the last, it is not divisible by 3 as well as not divisible by 2, because it is going into else part, that means if is not true, this part if is not true, and it is not divisible by 3 as well, so that is why it will fall into else part, right? So let us execute this code, and the name of the file is conditional2.py. so let us execute it. Python conditional2.py. so enter a number, let's give 10. I'll show you how to ask user to give for a number, that is 10. So 10 is divisible by 2 but not divisible by 3. Okay, I'll show you the example. Here this is the function which will give you the prompt in order to give you the number that user is able to give a number. Input, it will return in form of string, and if you are entering a number you need to convert it into integer, right? So input is a method, reads a line from user and converts it into a string. Okay, so let's give another example. So give value 12, it is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. Another 15, divisible by 3 but not divisible by 2. Okay, 17, not divisible by 2 and not divisible by 3, that is the last condition. So this is the usage of nested if condition. Okay, let's go back. Next is control structure. So control structure is similar to the conditional statements, that it also begins with the test. If the test expression evaluates to true, the loop body will get executed, and if the loop body will get executed and control goes back to the test condition, this loop will be formed until the test condition is false, and as soon as the test evaluated into false, the code which is written after the loop body will get executed. So we can have the control structure first by for loop, and then we will see it by using while loop. Okay, so the syntax of for loop is for the iteration variable, that is well, in a sequence, and then body of the for loop. The another variant is for loop with else syntax. So for, then well is the iteration variable, and sequence, else part will get executed when the condition or test statement evaluates into false. That means the for loop is finished, right? So let's explore it using one example. So here we are going to write to an example. Let's have one list equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We want to print all the elements written within this list. For I in, I is our iteration variable, I in list colon indentation print I. Okay, so it is going to give me all the numbers which is there inside list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the elements of the list. Then what I want the summation of all the variables. So sum is accumulator, which is initialized to 0. Then I'll be using sum plus equal to I. That means all the elements that I'm retrieving using for loop, and ultimately I'll be printing sum at the end of the for loop. Okay, so let's execute it and see. So the sum is 15, right? So I will have 1 at first iteration, 2 at second iteration, 3 at third iteration and onwards, and sum will accumulate all the summation, right? Now I want to iterate through all the elements of the list using its index, not using I. Okay, so for that I'll be using range function. So let us explore first of all what is range function. So range, we can generate a sequence of numbers using range function. Range 10 will generate numbers from 0 to 9. It is also having syntax like range, start, stop and step size, where start and step size are optional. If it is not given, start will begin with 0 and step size is by default 1. So let us explore in Python shell. So in order to go to Python shell, we'll write this Python, and 3 greater than symbol indicates we have reached to Python shell. So here I am giving range 10. So it has given me 0 to 9. I am giving range starting from 2 to 10. So it is going to give me number from 2 to 9, right? And if I want to give the step size, that means jump of 2, then it is going to give me this list. Fine. So in order to leave the Python shell, we are going to write Ctrl Z, so that you will be back to the command prompt, and CLS to clear the screen. Now let us write over here range function and len function. Len function will give you the length of the list. Okay, so length of the list, here it is 5 because there are total 5 elements, so length is 5, and range will generate up to 5 number. That means starting from 0 and up to including 4, okay, not including 5. So that is the meaning. We are actually passing range 5, that means 0 to 4 number, and we want exactly those numbers only. List of I. Okay, these are the indexes which I want to refer. So using index I am doing the same thing. So Python example .py, okay, 15, right? So this is how we can use the index in order to extract the elements of the list. Let's go further. The next control structure is while loop. The syntax is very similar to for loop, but here we are supposed to increment the iteration variable, and while loop is used when up to what we are supposed to go it not defined. In case of for loop, the end condition, the end element is defined, up to what you need to go is defined. Okay, so similarly here also we are having else, while loop with else, and else in while loop will get executed when the while loop is over or it is finished. Let's explore it. So we are going to write while, and the example is sum of natural numbers up to n. So here we are going to ask number from user. So earlier we have seen that how to get the number from user using input function. So n is equal to integer because we need to cast it, and input is a function, and we are going to give message enter number, fine, and it will be converted into integer. This is accumulation variable sum. This is iteration variable I, which is initialized to 1, while I is less than n. Okay, less than or equal to n, because we want to do summation till n including n, colon, this is indentation to form a block, then sum plus equal to I, and we are supposed to do here I equal to I plus 1 because we need to increment the iteration variable. And when the loop is over, we are going to print sum. Okay, and the name of the program is while.py. so accordingly we are going to execute Python while.py. Enter a number. It is asking me number, so I am entering 5, and the summation up to 5 number is 15. So this is the way how you are supposed to use while, and you can also use over here else statement, and you can print else of while. Okay, so let's see what is the output. Again executing the same program, enter the number, I am giving 5. So else of while, that means the while is ended, and then the summation will be printed. Okay, 15. So here after executing this block, else will get executed. That is why this is the output you are getting, and finally we are printing the summation. So this is how the execution of while loop will take place. Now next is control statement, break. The break statement terminates the loop. The control of the program flows to the statement immediately after the body of the loop. Break. If we want to break the iteration of the loop, we can use the break statement. Okay, so let us understand it with the example. So here we are taking for ch, that is character, in one string like this. This is the example we are taking, and print ch. Okay, what will be the output? Here the output will be single character, it will print. Okay, let us see. Okay, shweta. Okay, individually. Now suppose if I want to break the output, break the loop at specific character. So for that I need to have one condition. If ch equal to e, for example, let's take e. So in ch, this iteration variable, when we are getting e, the loop should not continue. So for that I need to write here break. Okay, so let us see after writing the break how the execution of the program will get changed. Okay, this print statement is part of the for loop. Okay, and due to this break, the for loop should not continue after finding E. Okay, so let us see. Before it was printing SHWETA whole characters of the string, but now it will print SHW. Okay, let us see. Because at E, as soon as it will find E, it will break. Okay, and further iterations are not executed. So that is the effect of break. Now the next is continue. The continue statement rejects all the remaining statements in current iteration of the loop and moves control back to the top of the loop. Break will terminate the loop, while in case of continue, the current iteration will not get executed, but control will jump to the next iteration. Okay, so instead of writing over here break, I am writing continue. Okay, and let us see the effect. I am not making any other changes. So SHW, E part is not printed, TNA, because at E part we have skipped for the print statement. So as soon as E is found, it will not execute the following lines of the for loop, and the control will go back to the next iteration. Okay, so T and A will get printed. Next is pass. So it is used when a statement is required syntactically, but no command or code is to be executed. The pass statement is a null operation and nothing will happen when the pass is used. So here, if I use pass, it will have no effect, right? It will behave like it is not written. So SHWETA, it is same as you have not written null. As if you can see here, before writing anything, all the letters are printed, and when we are writing pass here also, you can see all the letters are getting printed. So that is why pass is having its no meaning. It is null operation. So that's it for this session. We have seen here control structures and conditionals. I hope you understood the topic, and if you are having any query, you can contact me or write in the comment section. We will try to get back to you soon. Thank you.